Hello, it's Paul here again. I'm wearing two jumpers. Let's have a look at some more levels. Now hopefully I've set this up correctly so that once again the new level will be the first incursion. It is. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that squad. I was going to say I thought I might cheat and give myself some extra units, but you know, let's keep it earnest, keep it authentic. Right, the transformer station here is where the incursion is going to happen. So let's go and have a look at that. So yesterday we played around with that mechanics level. That was okay. Ian's been working on some scripting, spawning stuff, I think, for Robin to make these levels. Apparently some of that isn't working right now, so there'll be some units spawning in the wrong place. Thanks for watching the last video, by the way. All your comments and that were really good. I shall get to some of your questions, hopefully, in a bit. Okay, this is looking pretty cool. Some interesting stuff happening there. I think that's some water. This is kind of cool. I need to sort out this thing. So basically what happens currently is your vehicle appears here, and then you have this sort of barrier surround that appears, but it's kind of clashing with walls a little bit right now. It's not final or anything. Gonna pop these chaps over here. Currently nothing in the way of units patrolling around. And currently nothing in the way of unlock zones. So that means the map is broken. So that means I'm going to go and have to complain about it to somebody, and I'll be back shortly. Right, while I wait for that to be fixed, I'm going to try something else, which is a different level. So we shall see if that suffers from the same problem. It may not. Half of my life is trying to test things and then there being a critical bug and me not being able to test them. But that's just the way it goes. You have to have a relaxed attitude to this kind of thing when you're testing, because otherwise programmers and various other people will get very annoyed with you. Right, Sewage works. That is where we want to go, except I think I've sent my force to the wrong incursion. So we shall correct that right now. Off they go. That's fine. Let's take a little look. Have patience. Patience is very important. The loading times have been a lot better recently. I'm not quite sure why that one is taking so long, but we do get to see the nice transition, so that's good. Okay, let's pop down here. So this is looking pretty good. It's a nice looking level. There's a very small entrance to the lot there. That's weird. We do have some unlock zones there, but interestingly not there. So I wonder if that is just a mistake or if it's a remote one. We shall play anyway and see what we can see. Alright. So already there's a few units patrolling outside unawares. I'm going to take my units and pop them in here. We can see their plan. So they're going to go that way. Presumably he's having a look in this lovely water purification thing there. Cool. So what I shall do is just move in and dark. Expect this to be very haphazard. Again, I'm not really playing in anger particularly. No, that's not going to be good. Okay, so we want to continue on site there. Pop down here. Continue on site there. Now, they'll get spotted if he comes around the corner, but I'm not... Well, maybe I'll try a bit harder than that. I mean, that's pretty weak. Let's see if we pop over here, what happens. Okay, we'll leave target. I'm going to leave them... I don't know why he's aiming. No, I shall continue on site, and we'll try and go behind this tree trunk. And then we'll see what happens when I do that. Hiding in the tree. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. So I like the way this level is framed. It's got a kind of nice, obvious challenge for the introduction. Like, just try and sort of avoid these people. Civilians running away. There's quite a lot of civilians on this level. Okay. Now I need to sort of think about where that patrol's going to go. Okay, so he will come and spot me next time, unless I do something clever. So let's try going over here. Now, enemies in fog zones can't see you, so that's good. I mean, ultimately, I'm going to be engaging these units anyway. I'm not too bothered by the stealth, but we'll just see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so we got to there. Now let's have a look at this. Okay, so presumably he's going to pop in there for a bit, have another look in the water. What I kind of want to do is unlock this, because then I'll be able to shoot through here. Yeah, that could work. That could work. I'll obviously have to go round. I mean, these are pistols as well, so engaging them won't be particularly problematic. It is slightly annoying that I can't get into there. Well, no, I'm going to stick with stealth for now. I'm in an indecisive mood today. You can tell. It's probably the snow. Let's long turn it over there. If they don't turn up, they probably won't be able to see me. One thing we do need to think about is clarifying like the vision for these units. I don't think we're going to be displaying vision cones because that's really too much information, but you definitely need to get a sense of their vision. We played Deus Ex again for some research, and we noticed that the vision cones on enemies in that are really narrow, so you can really kind of come up to somebody from the side quite well. So we may do that here. I'm enjoying sneaking around, I must say. Okay, so we get to there. Where's that patrol going to go? Is it going to come back up there and spot me? It is. So I think I'm going to pop down here, play the waiting game a little bit. So we'll just do a long turn there. This stealth element to the game is actually pretty fun. What we want is kind of a light stealth thing, so think more kind of XCOM concealment than Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, which is an interesting game. Alright. Patrol coming around. I'm going to wait another turn here. Why not? The AI might get upset with me now because that was a very quick commit. No, it's fine. It's not upset with me. Now, somebody mentioned on the previous video that these screens popping up are very jarring. In Cortex, what we did was we just froze sort of everything and then had a little AI progress bar up the top so you could kind of look at what was going on. I don't know if that's going to be possible. What do I want to do? I'm going to wait longer and then just incite the long turns to kind of be longer. So that is a good point. This is kind of jarring. I don't know technically if we'll be able to do that. I mean, we'll certainly have a much nicer looking AI progress indicator. We'll have some nice art for these screens if we do have to have them, but I never know what the technical constraints are for this. Okay, so they're going to go around that way. I mean, at this point, I'm probably going to get spotted anyway, so I think what I'll do instead of this is... I always want to go aggressive. I find stealth really boring, but this kind of stuff's okay. If I get this position here, I'm probably going to be fine. So I'm just going to do that. And then we'll probably be able to take out some guards. There might be some people who pop out of these areas. One thing we definitely need to do is find some way of linking the unlock zones to the fog zones a bit better. At the moment, it's sometimes a bit hard to tell like why some don't have direct unlock zones and why some do. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't really care. I'm going to go and unlock this door, and then I'll keep this person here. If I go and unlock the door... Ah! I've got myself in a tangle. I'll keep aiming there. I shall go and unlock the door from this side and aim in there. Cancel aim. Let's see where we get to now. One thing I shall do, I think, in future videos is keep a list of questions open so that I can deal with them in the turn breaks and so on. I think that'll be good. Those guards really not doing a very effective job. Okay, wow, that's a big unlock area, and there's nothing in there that is of particular use right now. So that's fine. Eventually, we will have pickups in the level. So you'll be able to get money, you'll be able to get additional mercenaries, unlock additional mercenaries, and unlock additional units that help you on that specific level as well, which will be really cool. So for this kind of thing, I don't think it would be empty. Eventually, it would just be, you know, it would be something that contained an unlock. Now, I really want to start taking these units out, I think, because I have a nice advantageous position here, and so yeah, I want to see what happens when I do that. I want to see what happens when I go tactical. I have to say I like this sort of breadth of stealth challenge, not too difficult. I feel like I was able to get into a good position there. I feel like I'm kind of making the choice about when to engage in a reasonable way without having to faff around too much. I like how they immediately just backpedal. That's pretty cool. I think we're going to win this, or at least win with those two, so we shall try that. On some levels what will happen is there might be a bigger alert and enemies will run out of buildings and stuff, but hopefully you'll be getting information kind of from your advisors about when that's going to happen, so you can sort of reasonably predict it. That's the idea anyway. They're just running away. Well, they are shorter range, so that's fine. I think I shall ignore them for now, so we'll just cancel aim and just pop all the way down here. And I'll see. I mean, if they kind of come anywhere near me from there, I should be okay. I'm starting to think maybe I needed to unlock that for some reason, which is something I will ask Robin about, but we'll see. Getting flow right on these levels is interesting. We do need to have kind of progressive unlocks so that you're kind of moving through the space or you're unlocking one thing before the other. So we shall see. There's still a bunch of features to go in for this specific thing. Don't want to get caught out by them sneaking up on me. Okay, so nothing in there. I will move through there, and this will also provide me a bit of safety against these other units, but again, I don't feel like I'm particularly under threat right now, and keep aiming generally that way. That should be fine. One thing that we haven't been working on much yet is levels with a greater number of units. So the player's squad, I think, can go up to 6 units, and that'll be interesting. So we will be able to do some more elaborate stuff. But these are, again, just early levels, get you sort of the feeling for the different systems. Somebody asked, why do we have these unlock zones when we already have dark? It's simply to conceal the terrain within buildings. So if you can see all of the terrain in somewhere, you really kind of feel like you have a good handle on it, or you can plan sort of much more accurately. But if you can't, then it is a lot more enigmatic. And we can do things like trying to make you move through the level to find stuff. So it's just an additional dimension to that. Another question was, are these supposed to represent doors? It's more like they have kind of radar jamming operating inside these buildings, and you can hack into the building by getting to these points. Doors are kind of a bit fiddly, especially in a sort of turn-based game. You have to keep opening and closing them, and it sort of is a bit problematic. I mean, we could potentially, I suppose, visualize this sort of thing as a door, but then you don't necessarily get these larger unlock zones. So if people are able to tolerate the idea that this is, you know, just an area that your systems can't access, and then units being in the vicinity of that area gives you access, then we'll be okay. But it is something we'll keep an eye on if people don't sort of vibe with that idea particularly well. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to bring him out here and just try and pick off that person. This might turn into a long video, but I can't predict or control what's happening. It's completely live. If I streamed this, there would just be longer pauses of me out tabbing to email and complaining about things, and it would be embarrassing and bad. So that's why I'm just recording. Okay. Being a little bit tricky, but maybe if I get them from this side as well, that'll be fine. The AI is so much better in this game than it was in FS1. It's not only is it just actually better, it's more fun, and it's faster, as you've seen as well. So we'll just keep slowly advancing, and then we shall see what happens. I love status bars that pause at 95% forever. I thought it was going to crash there, but it didn't. It was just taking its time calculating. Okay, now we're probably going to get that one there, so I just need to make sure that I don't miss out on that one there. Okay, so who gets that kill? Blah. Is it? Yeah, okay, so I can actually safely ignore this. I can say ignore, and he will just snap around and take out that other chap coming from that direction, so that's fine. We shall do that. I still need to play some more into the breach. I kind of played the tutorial, and that seemed okay, but I needed to get into the game a bit more. People are really lavishing praise upon it, and I need to figure out why. I think one of my issues with it is going to be that it's a bit puzzly. I'm not really that into sort of overly specific tactical puzzles. That was a good turn. Hooray. Not really into overly specific tactical puzzles. I kind of just want to do stuff like this, which is a bit more freeform. I'm kind of thinking more about units moving around in the space and so on. Multiplayer gets a bit more puzzly, and I was always terrible at... Well, I was always moderately bad at Frozen Science multiplayer. Has that unit got stuck inside there? Or they... Oh, no, it's just the thing where they go inside. He's not particularly stuck, I think. That is a bug. Now, hopefully long turns should kind of obviate this like, slower, more boring progression. I feel like we probably need a little bit more going on in this level. Again, when you have pickups in that secondary situation, that's more interesting. It may also be that there's a problem and the relic hasn't appeared, the thing I'm actually trying to get out of the level, in which case we'll have just had a sort of general explore around. It's going to be a long turn. Can he target him? No, I think that unit is just a bit stuck. I might have to get a bit closer to do that. Well, I'll keep aiming and I'll keep moving in, and I shall try unlocking with this person. I don't really care if I lose a unit at this point. This sort of freeform space thing and having different buildings to go in and cover is actually pretty cool. And I think we could kind of use some more maps like this. I really like the overall feel of this map, as I have said probably 6 times already. It's just an insight into my thought process. 95% again, everyone's favourite percentage. Here we go. Come on, game. We can do it. The bugged pistol just crawling around inside that sewage tank in desperation. Okie dokie. Okay, the relic was the first place we should have looked. So we definitely need to reward the player for doing the kind of thing that that I was doing there. We just had some odd jitters there, so sorry for the break in recording. Something to do with my recording setup being unhappy, but let's ignore that for now. Okay, so this should be relatively straightforward. I think I can just pop in there and do that. Might be some memory leak or slowdown in the game or something as well. Pew. Okay, but if he's there and focus aiming me, do I win? Yes, I still win. If he's there focus aiming me and there, do I win? Yes. Okay, these pistol units are really poor. So hopefully something weird won't happen and I will actually manage to beat him. I am sure, game. I feel like the game really wants to crash, but we'll see. There's definitely something going on, be it my PC or the game. I thought it was going to try and be tricky and kill me there. Where did he come from? Okay. Oh, so this might be an area that has no unlock zones intentionally, so that enemies can spawn out of it. That is something that kind of makes sense. So that's fine. That's fine, but we definitely need a way of communicating that. And I shall think about that. I think probably just some different texture or some different color. Obviously, you can't just use color to signify things. For that type of fog zone could work, because it's clear that what Robin's done here is he's needed a point to sort of spawn stuff in that the player can't see, and that is fair enough, and it's a reasonable practical. These guys, they always just turtle. I think it's because I've got good coverage there. So instead of that stuff, I'm just gonna go pick this up and route my way out there. Might get killed, but doesn't particularly matter. Aim. You know what? I might just continue on site because I don't think it's gonna approach me, and we'll see if that's a viable potential end to this level. So I like the trap there. That's quite nice. Very light stuff, like you go in, you find the relic, and you get to the trap. So we just, I think, perhaps need to put another enemy in that building, add some rewards for going over there and checking it out, and then that'll be a really nice early level with some nice freeform movement around the space, and sort of the idea of like stealthing a bit and dealing with guards. I think this is pretty good, actually. Grab the relic. Did he just go back in there? Like, oh no, I forgot to cancel aim, so that's going to take forever. I would like a UI element that tells you if you have an aim active or not. Oh, you can shoot him from there. Okay, well that's a bonus. My favourite thing about that though is just this. Nope. I'm going back. Good. Okay, well that's cool. I think we understand that level now reasonably well. So that is another one to chalk up for a decent early level. I think with a little bit of polishing and refinement, it'll be quite good. Thanks for watching this. I will now attempt to answer some questions. Right, Simon Maxwell says, are there any plans in place to do away with or better integrate the in-progress bar? Something I mentioned during that video. Yes, I think if we can try and do something more interesting with that, it would be good. Bringing the screen up every time and covering everything is not ideal. However, it may just be technically impossible. I don't know at this point. However, that screen will definitely look nicer, and I'm still gunning for a progress bar that doesn't get stuck at 95%, if that's possible. I don't know. Lost Elson, where's Ian? What did you do to him? Ian is working very hard, and he promises to come back and bring back the dev diaries at some point. The stuff he's working on at the moment is mostly bug fixing, enabling us to do this level stuff. So the level stuff is a lot more visually interesting for people to look at, so hence I'm doing this. Muji is the best Keon. Abstract room revealing eye zones feeling too abstract. Yeah, again, I discussed that. We will try and figure out whether that's acceptable or not. At the moment, it would be really good if we could keep it like this, because it sort of makes the most sense from a design point of view, but it might be dissonant in terms of kind of how you're interacting with the level and stuff. Restart at selected turn. Got a few different comments, and is an interesting one. Yeah, it might make the game too easy. Right, a sandbox mode where everything is, you know, that's fine, that's also possible. I mean, I think there's this idea of whether it creates a pressure to feel like you have to restart or not. As I said, there might be a compromise situation where it costs you money to use it. It could be an option that you set when you start a campaign. I think that's fair enough. One of the problems with it off is that if you have a very long level and you go all the way through and then there's an ambush or something and you lose your units, there's not really any sort of meaningful way of kind of saving or checkpointing as you go. I would probably play with it on the whole time. I think it might be better, you know, I think it might be good, as you say, as an option for when you start. that could well be something that makes sense. I really appreciate people who are saying that these videos are good and that they enjoy them. It's kind of a mindset of getting into a mindset of like putting stuff out. I'm going to try and put stuff out every day if I can for a while, just to get some more communication going. What really helps me is if you share them. If you say, oh, these people are making a tactical game and they're talking about it, maybe try and watch this, that would really, really help. So I'll be banging on about that a lot. But if you do share stuff, that really does help me. The fog of war mechanic, again, I dealt with this earlier. It's about the terrain. Enemies cannot fire at you from in them. Currently, we did have that for a while, and it was pretty frustrating to just walk by a building and then a bunch of gunfire comes out and you're just like, well, there's no way I could predict that. So at the moment, it's kind of set up so that they can't fire out. It's just essentially this idea of concealing terrain. I'm glad you feel engaged. That's good. Thank you. Yeah, as an accessibility feature, yes, that's a point. Lol. Will Frozen Synapse 2 be localized into German? It will not on release. The way that text is done in the games that we make using the Talk engine is not sort of good for localization. It is something that I would really like to do. So what will happen is the game will be released, and then if it looks like it's going to make sense to localize, we will put some time and effort into localizing. I really believe in the power of localization. It's just incredibly hard to do it with the way that the game is set up. It's a real pain. It's a downside of the system that we use for text. So what we'll do is we will look at that as things go on. If it becomes sort of obvious that the game is going to massively take off, like we have some incredible response to a trailer or something pre-launch, then we might look at it doing it for launch, but that's very unlikely. It's difficult. Game looks amazing. Just wish we had more communication. These videos are awesome, but a percentage of where you think you're at, or whether we should expect this in 2018. It should be 2018. The problem with big, complex, ambitious game projects is that you often have to kind of turn the clock back when you make a big change. We've had to do that 2 or 3 times with this now. But as you can see, we're actually working on content right now that will be in the final game. So we have a whole load of these levels that we want to work on, the procedural stuff as well. We need to release the game this year, unless something ridiculous about it changes. It really, really shouldn't. So we're trying to line everything up as best we can to get on that downhill slope. We really want to get another beta out and get, you know, our closed beta community playing it again and giving us that direct feedback so that we know we're on the right track. The main things that we're working on right now are this level structure, so we've got to make levels to go all the way right through the entire game. Then we will also need to look at things like the faction interactions. Factions do these missions called ventures, which I think Ian has talked about a bit already, where they go off and do things in the city and you can intervene in those things. So those will all need levels and so on made for them as well. Excuse me. So it's really about content. A lot of it is about content. There's some systemic stuff to do with factions that we need to do. There's a lot of balancing that we need to do, but that's just giving you an overall picture. And it's why we can't say, yes, it definitely will be November, or it definitely will be September. We really try and stay away from doing that. I mean, you see, like, we've aimed for specific years and genuinely believed it would be in that year and failed that. So if we started doing months, it would just induce more calamitous responses. Again, thank you for nice comments. This isn't what I do naturally, so it's always nice to get support. Please do keep watching these videos. Talk to me on Twitter. I'm Mode7Games on there. You can talk on the Frozen Synapse Steam community. And let's try and increase the communication and show you what's happening with the game a bit more. Thank you.